this Ken with the Rogue Market, here with a little bit of a different video about my sentiments of where Wizard of the Coast is going with this whole upping their game with products and not giving enough natural time for that to work. Like the amount of how they've scaled what I call the Fomo products, or the ultra secret edition stuff that you must buy because it's going to be once in a lifetime thing, has just gone crazy through just this past year of 2020, of where they started off with Secret Lairs and then just continued to double masters now, even with Commander Legends and all of these just, like I said, crazy things that you must buy because you never have this great deal. Again, this is the biggest warning sign of these ever, which is the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition. So I thought I'd just unbox one of these suckers just to show you what, if anything, if you have any faith in Magic Sealed product, this one should be the killer in that sort of faith. And maybe this sucker will age long term. I know that products like even the what is that multiplayer format called, where Plane Chase and stuff were duds for a while, and then over the years they've actually accrued in value, and are actually, if you would have invested in them, would have made a pretty decent return. But those were kind of pitiful for their time period of the ultra super special thing that everyone needed to get their hands on at the moment. This one is particularly, though, a black eye for Wizards of the Coast, because right after they printed the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition, and this is the way of getting fetch lands back in. I mean, these super expensive fetch lands were in this Secret Lair Ultimate Edition, which is supposed to retail for like $300, yada yada yada. They reprinted fetch lands in arguably a better form in the best ever, never seen before expeditions in Zendikar. So on my other channel, I had a huge complaint also about Wizards packaging and how misleading it was and how ridiculous it got. I don't think anything comes close to how this joke of a product with the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition enemy fetch lands. So this used to be a very, very hard to get product. It was supposed to be exclusive to local game stores. Then they announced that they're going to start putting these lands in other Secret Lairs, which dumbed down the prices of them. And then they re-released these to distributors without any strings attached, meaning that the non-WPN stores could actually get a hold of these Secret Lair Ultimate Editions, which added additional supply that people didn't really account for when they invested in these ones. So let me give you a little bit of a history of the Secret Lair Ultimate Editions, how much I was able to sell them for. At the first, I was selling these all the way up to $400 for a Secret Lair Ultimate Edition, and that wasn't too far-fetched because the lands themselves were worth about that at the time of the printing. So it was basically, you paid market price for the 5 enemy fetch lands, which is around $400 at the time. These more recent Secret Lairs, I've been able to pick them up around $150 for my distributor cost for these. I've been lucky to get like $170, $180, $190, $200 for these type of things, because the market is not only saturated with them, but the reprinting of the enemy fetch lands as expeditions, which had a much higher supply in Zendikar collector's editions, which have a much higher supply than we first anticipated. Mind you, there had been a massive reprint and a restock of Zendikar collector's editions to the tone of, I think, that they are the most printed ever collector's edition. So even worse than Theros. What happened with Theros was kind of the same thing. There was a lack of supply early, which caused a reprint of the Theros collector's edition, and Theros is just still super, super saturated with collector's edition. You can still get them at distributor price for a set that is reasonably old at this time period. It is going to be a set that will rotate next September, which is a good 10 months away when we're looking for 10, 11 months away when we're looking at rotation. So it doesn't have that much shelf life left. So it's not a good indicator that there still are collector's editions from Theros that are available basically at cost. So Zendikar is kind of going that way, and to the point that distributors are actually giving a bit of discount on the Zendikar collector's edition. This was something that was sold for a premium, comparatively speaking, to other collector's edition. Ikoria was a little bit the exception because it had the chase cards that people thought that, I mean, it had the Death Corona, which people really, really wanted, which I thought was ridiculous to be chasing that, but whatever there. But anyway, yeah, Zendikar collectors, though, have shot down in price, which I think is exasperating the price of Enemy Fetchlands Secret Lair Ultimate Edition even more. So in this case, it all isn't about the fetch. When this was printed, people thought, okay, this is going to be Wizard's reasonable way to not only cash in on the Fetchlands, but also get them a little bit of supply and hold people over for a future set down the road that then they could cash back in on the Fetchlands. Well, that didn't last long, which basically a set away from when they released the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition. Like I mentioned before, they blew them out in the form of Collector's Edition packs where you're basically guaranteed like 3 per Collector's Edition box, which on the scope of things is, if you're paying $200 for a Collector's Edition and getting 3 versus 5 and all the other juice you're getting from the Collector's Edition, that seems like a much better route to even going than buying the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition. Okay, so there you have it. There's my opinion on the Secret Lair Edition. It's one of the reasons why I don't like to touch Magic products long-term sealed. I like to flip them as soon as possible. I still think that my business model, even though that I'm in a different situation than most people, is still the best way for me personally to make money, is just to blow out, kind of do what the sports and more do. Get a new set, blow it out for as much profit margin as possible, and then wipe my hands clean of that set, and then rinse and repeat. It's better than going in on these risky long-term investments and have some of them fail or get stuck with that capital that's being tied up in things that don't move. Now, in a year time, 2 years time, maybe the Secret Lair editions go for $500 and people will be like, aha, you're wrong again, Kevin. You said that these were bad pickups. Well, if it takes that long for your money to accrue and your money to move, I think there are better things in this demographic. I'm not even saying elsewhere in other investments or whatnot, but in Magic the Gathering, for being able to flip your money and making a better profit short term than having to wait for these long term things you have to kind of gamble on. All right, so back to the essential of what I can't stand about Wizards of the Coast packaging. So this box doesn't even really fit on the camera for what, 5 cards? I think you get like a secret card in here too. So, no, you don't in this one. This is the one that doesn't have it, I thought. Oh, we'll see. I guess we're opening this up. So, there's a box. There's the packaging box, which is so much bulk. So, to ship these things was already, this is like half the cost. This big box is half the cost. Then, it's in this inner box, which is even padded even more, which, again, it's supposed to be for this ultra premium product that would have made sense if, they didn't reprint it so quickly. So, then it's this outer packaging that has all of this snazzy, like I'm opening a box of shoes here, keep them nice and fresh and clean, that then has this even inner box, which was supposedly supposed to add to the value, but no one really cares about this. I don't know if there's that many collectors that really cared about. Well, the thing is too, is they made the Secret Lair because usually Secret Lairs are for more of the collectors, but they purposely didn't make these foils because foils warp, and they didn't want people getting disqualified from their Modern and Legacy tournaments because of warped cards. So they did non-foils. So the box doesn't even stay open. Wow, this one's not one of sale. So they did non-foils of these cards, and so they're not even full art. They're just kind of new art. Is all. So like I said, comparably speaking, they're just a worse off product now than Collector's Edition with the full art foils that you can get from, and like I said, at high rates, 3 to 4 a box, for what was supposed to go for less MSRP than these boxes. And that's what you get. That's it. This entire massive box, this, like I said, doesn't even stay open. It's shutting on me. It's a mess with my microphone here by keeping it one to shut. It kind of displays in this sort of thing at this insanity. I mean, why do they even need this massive packaging? Like, that is, they could do this with kind of this inner thing. Could be even thinner if they're even wanting to make like a frame, or even just put these in a frame. And then it could even fit in a different box. It is just kind of misleading for this thing that you think you're getting like way more product. I thought there was, no, there wasn't. Okay, so there is no specialty card in this too. I thought they gave you like a random god or something from War of the Spark. But that's it. That's it. All of this, all of that massive packaging, this box, it mechanically doesn't even function as it should be with being able to, keep it open. No, it's like, okay, if you pull it like that, yeah, it does sit on its corners. I don't know if you can see that from the camera. And then, but it's still incredibly awkward. If that's how you're going to display it, it doesn't really display on the, the table. And like, this quality is okay. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is just cardboard. It is. Oh, you can hear. I just did that. I don't know if you picked up in the microphone, and you can just the slightest bit of messing with it, and you hear the glue coming apart. And so this isn't even like the best, premium craftsmanship either. For if they're like trying to sell that the Secret Lair case was like the big drive. So all in all, that's what you get. Which, again, it would have been a good long-term hold, good long-term thing if A, they would have kept the supply pretty short of these. If B, they wouldn't have reprinted the fetch line so soon in better versions in Zendikar Rising. And so this is just a huge red flag and a huge warning to all of you that think you need to get in on the latest and greatest FOMO. This has been my experience in 2020 is with these sets that have come out, is the FOMO is just so real that everyone had to have, like Ikori Commander, that was one of them. Ikori Commander, I could not get enough to serve even my little business. And people just had to have it. And they had to have 50 of them. They had to have 100 of them because it's just going to be the greatest long-term hold for this Ikori Commander, one of the best commanders printed. And then by the time I could restock them and actually fulfill that need, the market had already crashed and nobody wanted them. Then comes out Double Masters. Same thing. Oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. This channel, I got so much flack saying that it's going to continue to go down, that we haven't seen the lowest yet, that this 1350 set value is not the lowest. Just wait 4 months. And people called me crazy, and I'm giving people bad advice. And they should have got in rather than listening to my garbage advice. And lo and behold, here we are now. That people do not want Double Masters. The prices are quite low. It's below the low of that initial dip that I was getting all the flack for. And it is actually pretty tough for me to move VIPs at a reasonable rate. I can barely get any more than distributor price over VIPs. And here we go with Zendikar's Collector now, that everyone had to have it. This is the best thing ever. And then lo and behold, here comes the reprint. And it's again, very, very tough to move them. The distributors are actually blowing them out for a little bit lower than they were weeks ago, which is a huge warning sign when that set is supposed to be very, very fresh. But then came Commander Legends, and you see where I'm going here. It's just rinse and repeat. Who knows what the hell they're going to come out with Kaldheim, or Kaldheim, or however you pronounce it, with. My guess is some sort of like enemy duels with snow or something, I don't know, that everyone is going to have the FOMO to salivate, and they're going to have it, and it's going to be, this is just not sustainable. And so that's been my big warning to MTG Finance is these type of products, these type of gimmicks, these type of FOMO stuff. Wizards is just, they just keep upping the dose, they just keep upping it's a drug to them. And be very, very careful with this kind of stuff. I feel so guilty for selling these for $350 to people. I mean, that's what it was. I got 6 originally, so I just let the market dictate how much they went for. Basically put it out there and had people bid on them, and that's kind of what they went for. And yeah, now it's down to 200 in less than just a few short months since these came out. Right when these come out, like April, May. I can't remember what Secret Lair is. It's not that long in the scope of things. And they've already gone down. Anyway, hope this wasn't too much of a Debbie Downer. Again, I want to get back to the financial aspects of this Rogue Market channel. I'll get there. Be patient with me. Let me figure out some upkeep here at my store and from on the other channels, and we'll get back in the swing of things. Mainly has to do with me just not in the game of flipping cards like I used to be. But I want to get back in the game. I think there's still a niche for me, and of course the viewers were definitely there for people that want to hear my take. Anyway, this has been Kevin with the Rogue Market. Thanks for watching.